Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is September 28th, and we've got another awesome guest lined up for today. I just finished spilling coffee all over my desk, and we're good now. I thought my keyboard was shot, and turns out we're fine. So, um, every single Monday through Friday, if you're new, we go live at 10 a.m. Eastern time on our Facebook page. You could just type into Facebook Legendary Marketer and you'll find us. But you can text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553. And you'll get a short little text message every single time that we go live. I haven't got mine yet, but I'm about to get it. And it's just a short, tiny little text, and it gives a little description about what we're going or the guests that we're going live with. And yeah, you'll never miss an episode. If you want to grab any of our gear or like a legendary t-shirt, I've got a legendary t-shirt folded up over here. You can go to belegendary.shop and you can find legendary gear that way. Also, just one little aside before we get into today's show. If you or somebody that you know wants to be featured on the show, maybe you've had success as, let's say, a weight loss coach or a, I don't know, parenting coach or you name it. You can fill out the little form at legendarymarketer.com/featured. And, we have tens of thousands of students who come through our ecosystem every month. And I think like this month was something like 11,000 people. It's a lot of people. And the ability that we have with the people that we have in place to keep up with all of you is well, it's not possible. So we're not able to track down every single success story, but if you'd like to be featured, we would love to feature you. So you can fill out that form, and if it's a good fit, we'll get back with you. The format and what we do on this show is we bring on people from our community or people who are running one of the core 4 business models that we teach. And we just share a little bit about their journey. How did they get started? What was some of the hurdles they ran into? How are they creating content? How do they get traffic? How do they generate leads? What's the logistics of their business look like? And the goal is that we'll give you a little bit of inspiration, you, the viewers, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of rather than waking up to Fox News and Tucker Carlson or CNN or whatever, you can wake up with somebody just like you who's in the trenches, who's seeing success and can maybe give you some tips or a little bit of help. And these stories are really important to us because it represents how normal, average, everyday people come online without any prior success or huge success story, and learn the skills and become successful online. So today, let's bring on our guest for the day, Steph from do I have it right? Oklahoma?
Yes,
Okay.
Fletcher, Oklahoma.
Cool. I had your thing up earlier and then I closed it and then I was like, "Oh shoot, I hope that was her." All
That was
right, cool. Well, tell us a little bit about you and your journey to coming online and how you found Legendary. Tell us, I want a little backstory about, in your questionnaire you wrote about breaking generational cycles. So take us way back to give us a little bit of the history and sort of the story behind why you're trying to break generational, what did you call that? Generational cycles of
cycle. Yeah.
wealth.
Yeah. So I grew up in a divorced home, both parents just trying to make ends meet, struggling financially. My dad went from job to job. And I don't know, I go back a lot to, if you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and the poverty, mentality and, this mindset of this is how much money we have. This is how much we don't have, how much we need, but there's no way of getting more. So we just need to pinch pennies and stay in this like continual cycle. And then, you hit college and it's either you go after and get a degree, go after your passion. So you never work a day in your life, or go to college, get an education that pays a lot. So you're
Mm.
probably not going to be as happy, but you have good money. Well, I went after my passion, which is animal science, but pays literally nothing. That like, you're just not going to make
Right.
a living off of that. You're not going to have money in savings or anything like that.
Hmm.
And when I got out of college, I moved around to about 3 or 4 different jobs, just trying to make ends meet. My grandmother actually passed away. My dad had just had a huge surgery. And it was about that time that I really started thinking about, not only am I trying to provide and make money for myself and, think about my future, but how am I going to make enough money to provide for my dad? Like
Mm.
when he, gets sick and, needs financial assistance down the road, he
Yeah.
isn't a millionaire. He went his whole life going from paycheck to paycheck. So when you
Right.
start thinking about those things, what can I do now to like change that? And I actually joined the military. I
Hmm.
loved what I did. And it's actually weird because I went from a situation where I was struggling financially after I got this education to where I was better off financially, but I was immediately deployed. And then while still deployed, I was told that we were going to be redeployed again soon. So I was going to be spending more and more time
Mm.
overseas. And it was like, okay, the better pay, but I'm not living my life on my terms. So I'm overworking. I'm not living my life. And
Yep.
so it was then that it was like, I have to find something else. So I,
Mm.
I was in for about 3.5 years. And it was at the end, about December, when I was on TikTok and several people were promoting the challenge. And I scrolled past it and then something just kept me in there. And I was like, let me just give this a shot and see if,
Right.
you can do something with it. And I stuck with it. And here I am still building my online business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. When did you find Legendary? How long ago?
It was about like November that time last year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because I wasn't on TikTok until my mom actually got me on TikTok. And just scrolling, I found it and I was like, what is this?
Oh man. Yeah, that's funny. The mom getting you on TikTok. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe over the last like 2 years, there's been lots of stories like that where it's like, I don't know, like I was at home and my kids just told me I had to get on TikTok. And then I went on TikTok and I saw all these people talking about making money online. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you could make money
Yeah.
on the internet? This is crazy. Um, so you go online, you go on TikTok, you find Legendary. Um, what okay, first of all, this is just my marketer's curiosity. If you had to guess, like how many days, how many videos, how many people did you see talking about making money online or our 15-day challenge or something before actually purchasing?
I would say at least 3 people. I
Okay.
remember the woman that I bought it from or through. I remember a man talking about it, and I think there was one more. The time from when I bought it, maybe a couple weeks. But I remember distinctly like watching that video and being like super curious and then going back to their page and then scrolling through all of their videos and seeing them continuously talking about the same thing. And I was like, there's no way. And then I just took the chance. And I mean, when you hear Dave talk, I mean, that dude, like, I don't know. Sometimes you can just read people. And when you hear Dave talk, I'm like, this guy is not scamming me. He is legit. He is for real. And I just feel like I could trust him?
Mhm. Yeah. You'll never guess how many people have said that. Like,
Really?
yeah, you'll never guess how many people have said that. There's something different, and I think it's probably I don't know, if I had to guess, like, he talks a lot about, how he had a moment where he was feeling really ashamed about, like, his I don't know if he's feeling really ashamed, but feeling like he needed to hide his addiction,
Hmm.
and that he was a recovering addict and, had a very serious heroin addiction. And he had this moment where he was like, "You know what? Like, people might dig up stuff on me, so I might as well just say it before they can say it." So
Yeah.
I do feel a little bit like there's this sort of like, hey, here's exactly who I am. Like, this is who me. This is me. Like, I'm a ninth
Yeah.
grade dropout, recovering addict, and I think there's something disarming about that. Like,
Mhm.
there is a lot of. I actually discovered this guy recently who runs. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, he runs this company and has some pretty shady marketing tactics and doesn't really disclose anything about that. And I, Google searched him a little later, found out he'd been done time in jail and has some interesting financial history and stuff. And I was like, man, that's pretty shady. Like,
Hmm.
I'd be okay with that, even if he just came out and just said it and was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I messed up," like, "I learned from my mistakes," whatever, but it felt like there was something being hidden, and I just don't really feel like that's the case with Dave, and it feels a bit more like, "Man, this guy's pretty upfront and honest
Mhm.
about this whole thing."
Absolutely.
Um, so when you dove in, you purchased the challenge, you're starting to go through the challenge. Uh, you said that Rich Dad Poor Dad was a pretty impactful thing. What did we introduce you to that, or had you read Rich Dad Poor Dad before
No,
Legendary?
you guys totally introduced that to me. Um,
Mm,
I remember, and it's very difficult because I've used his just snippets from the book in posts and emails and things that I write, and it's hard because there's a lot of people that listen and they're like hurt and like, oh, I just got slapped by that. And some of his videos,
mhm,
it can be a little abrasive, but he's so true in what he's saying, and I can just
mm,
look back at my childhood and like, oh, we can't afford this, or we can't, this or that, and all of those things. But there was never a, how can we find a way to make this money? How
yeah,
can we do this? And when you actually like sit back and like think of another way to make it happen, like your world can change. It
yep,
totally can.
yep. I for me, I read that book maybe, like, 10 years ago or something like that, and, that part stood out to me so much. I can't remember exactly how that's phrased, but something about, going from, "We can't afford this," to, "How will I afford this?"
Hmm.
And, because I had yeah, similar to that experience, I had an experience where I was trying to pay for a live event to go to Orlando for, like, I don't know what it was, like, some sort of digital marketing event. And, I remember my, a close friend, mentor of mine, he called me one night, and I was laying in bed, and he said, I was just like, "Dude, it's just not really in the budget," and he was like, "Man, entrepreneurs don't function with budgets."
Hmm.
Like, they really function with, like, "How am I gonna be resourceful and figure this out? Because I need to get there. I need to be in the room." And he said something like, "Winners figure out a way to get in the room." Like,
Hmm.
they figure it out. They might sell a car, they might sell, whatever. And he wasn't, like, pressuring me to do that. He was just pushing me to stretch that mindset. And it was a real life rich dad, poor dad kind of like, "Oh shit, you're right." Like, I forgot what Rich Dad Poor Dad said. And I look back on that, and some people would have looked back on that phone call and been like, "Man, that guy was kind of manipulative." But the truth is I had my mind really stretched, and I might not be here today, like, in the capacity that I am doing what I'm doing and doing what I love, had it not been that I got to that event in Orlando, and it
Oh yeah.
really that shifted my life.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think that mindset piece of the challenge is really important in addition to learning marketing skills and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So, you're let me transition. You're new to TikTok because your mom got you on TikTok,
Hmm.
and, you go on, and now it's like, "Well, now I've gotta create some content. I've gotta, like, start a business."
Oh
And,
yeah.
how did that go? What was that like?
Stressful, nerve-wracking. I am in general, even before this like call, I was like, okay, Lord, give me some peace. Don't get anxiety. Like I'm a nervous person. And so thinking of videoing myself, you
Yeah.
like I'm it's just awkward. But when I started watching these lives and like listening, to other people and watching other people's videos, you're all gonna start out looking like shit and you're just gonna get better. So I was like, just do it. And so I did. I made horrible, cringy videos. Um,
Yeah.
but hey, I got 1,000 followers, and now
There
my
you go.
videos are better. So It was worth it.
Dang. It's that whole pro your videos are gonna look shitty. And that's the truth. It really is. And now so when did you start creating videos?
So I think it was after I completed the challenge, and then me and my
Okay.
boyfriend, he's still active duty. We moved from Texas to here in Oklahoma,
Okay.
and I took about 3 months off because this house is a remodel. So we were working on this house a bunch. So I took about a few months off, and then I think Marchish, I started posting consistently.
Wow, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And you've got, 2,500 followers. Yesterday, we were on live with somebody and, I think they had like 15,000 followers or something. And I was saying, a lot of times people are like, "Oh, geez, I've only got 2,000 followers. I've only got 5,000 followers." You know, look at these guys with 1,000,000 followers or 500,000 followers. I've got this imposter syndrome, whatever. Um, I feel like more and more I'm seeing people with a couple thousand followers who are really connecting with their audience, like just
Mhm.
genuinely like real connection and who are generating a lot more leads and who are making more money than maybe other people with a lot more followers because they've built sort of this real authentic connection with their audience, which is kind of rare, like it's a really cool thing. Um, but so you start posting content, first couple videos, they look kind of shitty, whatever. But over time, do you feel like you've sort of how have you um grown in that area, maybe personally, but also with how you've created content? Do you feel like you've progressed and what have been some things that have helped you get better in that area?
I've heard time and again on these lives, make sure you put your story out. This isn't, there's going to be some repeat things that a lot of marketers do, but make it personal. This is your brand. And so I think, working hard to try to develop what is it that Steph is trying to say? Who is it that I'm trying to talk to? Because you know, Christy on here, she's adorable. I freaking love her. Who she's talking to, she's a mom of three. Like, I'm not a mom. There's a difference of who I'm trying to reach, but developing your own brand, your own story. And I think because I am such a nervous, anxious person, being bold and like just doing it anyways, even if you're uncomfortable, all the trendy sounds on TikTok right now on YouTube, my cringy, I hate that noise, background noise that's trendy, goes viral on YouTube. The past 2 weeks, I've had phenomenal videos of these cringy freaking videos, but they work. And all of a sudden,
What's
people
the
are
sound?
messaging
What's the
me.
sound?
Well, okay, so I got one that was like 20,000 views, and it's Legally Blonde, and it's like, oh, you got into Harvard, and she's like, what? Like it's hard? So I did. Oh, you started your own online business? What? Like it's hard? Like it's so cringy. Like oh my gosh, but I got a lot of views. You know what I
That's
mean? So
so
like,
funny.
who cares? Like if I am helping other people, if I'm building my business and I'm growing and thriving, then that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I think letting everything go and getting out of your own dang way and just doing it anyways is like freeing for yourself, but it's also like helping you grow personally, mentally, spiritually, and in your business.
Yeah, cool. On you and you're getting a lot of traction on YouTube with shorts. Are you just creating stuff on TikTok and then posting it also on YouTube, or are you posting specifically for YouTube?
No, it's just down repurposed for YouTube.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting because I would say of most people that I see posting YouTube shorts, you're getting maybe the most traction I've seen in a long time. Um, which might be, for those of you listening, maybe, right now is a good time to be on YouTube Shorts because a lot
Josh
of times,
Josh said that in
yeah,
the Facebook 5 day challenge. He said that he wonders if YouTube would be changing some things up.
well, bingo, because you've got view numbers that are unusually large, I would say, in the last couple of weeks for YouTube. But you've been also posting on YouTube for a long time. There's a secret there too, where it's like you've been posting there, you've been sort of developing your content there. posting, being consistent, and then boom, in the last couple weeks, 36,000 views, 20,000 views, um, 11,000, 9,000, 9,400, like lots of views. And you know what? if I had to if I had to guess, like YouTube channels, it's pretty rare that they get totally taken down. It's not that rare for a TikTok channel or for
Mm-hmm.
an Instagram. It's a little more rare for a YouTube. And also, the benefit of a YouTube that a lot of people don't know is that you can monetize that with ads. Well, basically with just YouTube ads. But you can monetize it once you get to a certain growth. And uh, that monetization, if you do that on TikTok or if you do that on Facebook, a lot of times your videos will stop getting viewed. Like they won't go viral anymore, and it's really lame. On YouTube, when you build that audience and you get 10,000 subscribers, 50,000 subscribers, you can start making an income just from your ads, like YouTube paying you, and there's less risk. It's more of an asset. Yeah, sure, you don't own your YouTube channel, but it's way more of a real asset than it is, like, let's say, a TikTok channel. I see people get their TikToks taken down or restricted, like, left and right, like,
Mm-hmm.
nonstop. So, I just wanted to validate that. I feel like you doing that and staying consistent on YouTube is really smart and, like, a good strategy because, 524 subscribers on YouTube in whatever, less than a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's really impressive. That's really good. Those are good numbers because YouTube typically goes like a hockey stick. Like it'll start out 100, 200, 300, and then, you'll post a couple videos, they'll change something in the algorithm, and then boom, like it's a rocket ship, and it can really change your business. So that's cool. And keep going on that because people have even sold YouTube channels, which is
Mm-hmm.
really cool too. On the so okay, you're on TikTok. You're also reposting on YouTube. Have you done any? Curious, just have you done any long form content on YouTube at all? Have you tried that?
You mean like longer videos?
Yeah, like maybe a strategy that some people have done is like they'll post some 20-second videos or a 30-second video on TikTok or on YouTube Short, and then that same day or about the same time they'll post a 20-minute full instructional on their YouTube. That's a full video,
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, you want to learn more? There's a full video on my YouTube channel. And then people go and find that video, watch a lot more, and sort of like really spend some time with you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying you should do that. I was just curious if you've done that or.
No, I remember Josh talking about that in the Facebook challenge. No, I haven't. Again, I haven't. I knew you were going to ask me when I heard I was going to be talking with you. You were going to ask me if I went live yet, because you always ask everybody, and I was like, oh man, be prepared to tell Matt you haven't gone live yet. Um, no, not yet, not yet.
No, that's cool. You don't have to go live. I mean, I pressure and peer pressure the hell out of people. But I've got ulterior motives. I mean, my ulterior motive number 1 is I know that that will make people really uncomfortable, but I remember, like, how, valuable it was for me in my early days to go live, and what that did for my confidence and what that did for, like, my ability to. I don't know. It changed me, and I see it change a lot of people. The other motive is, of course, that, the people who tend to go live make more money,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is, also just a huge benefit because people who are going live regularly are, they're breaking through this sort of, and I need to find a name for this. I need to find a catchy name for this, but there's sort of this sphere or bubble of trust that
Mhm.
isn't broken through in pre-recorded videos. There's a certain layer that imagine there's like onion layers, right? And to get to a sale, like sometimes a video can break through the layers of resistance.
Mhm.
Buyer's resistance is what that's called. Um, But going live is really sort of like it's the sharpest knife to get to the center of that onion.
Mhm.
It works almost every time, um, and it also, I think, has proven a little bit over time to also help grow channels. So, just aside from that, it just really helps to grow, uh, organically grow channels too. But yeah, I mean, I would just say, um, from the angle of going live or not going live, I pressure people to do it, but ultimately I don't follow up with them and shame them if they don't, so, like, you don't have
Yeah.
to, and lots of people have been successful not going live. So, I just wanna make that clear too.
Mhm.
Sometimes people watch this and then they're like, "Oh god, I have to go live to be successful." It's sort of like a, if you would really love to level up like crazy, go live, but, you don't have to do that. There's been people who have made hundreds of thousands of dollars on the internet and brought ungodly amount of leads and sales to their business and have
Mhm.
never gone live. So, it's not a you gotta choose your path and just stick to it, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but also don't do something out of fear, right?
Yeah.
Or don't not do something out of fear. Breaking through that fear is something that's valuable, even if not monetary.
Mhm.
So right now, you're posting content daily. You're actually growing. I mean, your channels are growing. You're building followers. I'm assuming you've got leads that are coming in, if
Mhm.
not on a daily basis, pretty regularly. Um, what have you in the last, let's say, 6 months? What have you learned that would be valuable to people who are sitting here? What have you learned about content and about content creation and about your business that might be valuable to somebody who's on day one of the challenge? Like somebody who's super fresh and new. Maybe they're on day one or two or three, but you're building your business, growing, and really pushing through some barriers and
Mhm.
unlocking some cool stuff. What have you learned that's been valuable and that you would like to pass on to new people?
Probably the biggest one, and I can remember when I started out, don't stress. Like, I think that a lot of times we hype ourselves up and like blow it out of proportion, but like,
Yeah.
don't like just post the video. Don't overthink it. Stop stressing about it. Stop questioning yourself. Stop doubting. Like, you have to get out of your own way, get out of your own head, and just do
Yep.
it. Um, I, for the longest time, didn't go on Facebook just because of fear of what everybody else is going to think and, this and that. And it's like, I literally have gotten, I think I only have like 80 something followers, but I've gotten so many messages on Facebook from people I know and don't know. And it's like
Mm,
breaking through those barriers, whatever they are, and pushing past so that you can build your empire, build your business.
yeah.
Um, I think that and I think you said it actually in a recent training you did in your copywriting training. Spend equal amount of time, not just listening to new training, but posting your content or email marketing. Don't just do all of this and then all of this. Pair it together. And like even
Mhm.
till today, I'm still doing that. I don't want to just post content. I don't want to just email, but continue learning because there's so much out there, which you can't be overwhelmed, but just like give yourself grace to continue educating yourself and then keep going. I would
Yeah.
also say I've gotten a lot of like, if you're willing to be vulnerable and just talk with people and have a conversation, there's so many people that like are just struggling and they want to learn more, but they're scared. And like, if you I've spent so many times like just having a 5 minute conversation just over messages, like explaining what it is that I do and like, what the potential is for them, if they were to start, just having conversation, just banter, that like helps
Yep.
people so much.
Totally, totally. Giving yourself permit. I love the phrase "give yourself permission." Just give yourself a little permission to be new, to figure it out, to, like you said, to watch a training and then actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah. And then also, I think right in line with that, what comes up for me when you say that is that, give yourself permission to be a beginner and to realize it's a long journey.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be probably where where learning these skills will take people is probably not where you would assume. Like,
Mhm.
it's probably going to be a different road, different path, and being open to that and being open to just learning skills and building your skills and building sort of your repertoire, your tool belt of digital skills, which are the skills of the future. And then just being open to opportunity. Where can I use these skills? How can I leverage the skills that I've got? Um, because the digital skills allow for things like time freedom, location independence. You can actually, within a digital course or something, there's infinite scale, right? One
Mhm.
month we might have 5,000 people who purchase our challenge. The next month it might be 15,000, and for, let's say, like a pizza place, they can't handle 10,000 new customers in a month. That's
Mhm.
impossible. There's not enough people to hire. There's not enough seats in the building, right? But online with digital skills, the scale is infinite, which means maybe not unlimited income, but it's
Mhm.
definitely the ceiling is about 50 times higher than anything else.
Mhm.
Certainly, to go back to something you said earlier, it's there's certainly not this like cap on what you can make. You could be doing side hustles day and night on top of a full-time job,
Mhm.
and that didn't exist 50 years ago. For
Right.
our parents' generation, that didn't exist, and so it was, you can't make any more money, so how are you gonna save money? Now it's how can I expand my income? How could I not just make more money, also keep more money and
Mhm.
make that generational wealth change,
Mhm.
which I find is I'm glad that you brought that up, and I'm glad that's a core piece of your messaging. Because having that as a sort of a motivating factor that's a big deal. Like, that's a big thing, and I think a lot of people gravitate towards that energy. So no, that's really cool. I love all of that. And, I think all of that advice for brand new people is key and important. So
Mhm.
thanks for bringing that. If people wanna find you, Steph, is TikTok a good spot for that?
Yeah.
Cool. And I also, commented in the show comments here on Facebook with your, YouTube channel, so people can go find you on YouTube as well really easily. And Steph, keep rolling and, keep going, and we would love to have you back on in 3 months or something just to check in and, like, see what's new, see what's up, see if you've expanded into other niches or see how your current business has grown and scaled up. So, um, shoot us an email in a couple months and we'd love to have you back on.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Have a good rest of your Wednesday.
Thanks, you too.
All right, everybody. It's on TikTok. If you're just listening, it's the Steph B, as in boy. So the Steph B. You can find Steph on TikTok. You can also find Steph on YouTube if you just search Steph Brown. Like, super simple, super easy. Steph Brown on YouTube. And if you've seen her on here on the Facebook or on our Facebook Live, you'll be able to pick her out pretty quickly on YouTube. So thank you so much to Steph and for everybody who tuned in live. We're going to be back here tomorrow. I might be guest hosting. Joanna might be guest hosting. I'm not really sure. Depending on what happens with this whole hurricane situation. If you're in Florida, stay safe. And, I'm seeing all these TikToks of guys who are like, oh, we're under evacuation warning and I'm not going to evacuate. I'm going to live stream this hurricane. Uh, Stay safe, everybody. Don't be an idiot. And make sure that you and your loved ones are good to go. Um, I know Dave and his family are staying safe and they'll be just fine. So we'll be back here tomorrow, Thursday, with some sort of a host, and then back here on Friday as well. So have a great rest of your week, and see you back here tomorrow.